Blessings crew, and welcome to this week's offering. And we're starting seated and just with a little bit of grounding, and we're just going to come into just a wee bit of breathing, a wee bit of settling into what your body needs. The usual team listening really deeply to what your body feels in each pose, how far you want to take it, whether you want to do the pose at all, and just kind of coming in with that intention of self-care. Okay, so looking after you in that. And so we're just going to breathe for a moment. You might want to put hands on the belly, you might have them in your lap, and just take a moment to sit in that space wherever you are in the world. And we're going to gather our energy in. It's something that we've been talking a little bit about these last few weeks, kind of bringing your energy back into center. So all the places that you've scattered your energy, we're going to gather it in. Bring ourselves to a center. Think of your mat as a space, a place that you're creating for your practice. You might want to soften your gaze or close your eyes. And just first off, just notice your breath. Be present to it. What's it doing today? Is it at ease? Has it got that flutter in it that we're a bit stressed? We're not quite sure. So as you bring that energy in, kind of breathe out into that space that you're creating. And then breathe in, bring some energy into the body consciously. And then breathe out into that space. If you work with a Sankalpa, if you're one of our crew that works with a resolve in your practice, it might be a word or a mantra. Think of breathing it in, filling your body with it. What does your body need to resonate with? And then breathing it out into that space. So you're starting to vibrate with that resolve. And we're going to notice our body. So move your spine a little bit, wriggle around a little bit. Notice what's tender, what might be sore, what might be awake. Maybe it's your spine, maybe it's your neck, your shoulders. Move your head a little bit. Just kind of noticing what's going on. And then come back to comfortable seated and just breathe. Feel your body settle back down. Think about the earth underneath us, so bring your awareness down through the floor, down through your base. We're going to stretch our legs out into Dandasana. So I'm going to bring the legs out in front, bring the hands down alongside the body. Might be knuckles or fingertips, depending on our arm length. Roll the shoulders down, sitting up nice and straight. Come into the breath. Think about the ground under your hands, under your body, the earth. How are you connected with the whenua, with the land where you are? If you don't feel connected, how can you make that connection? Can you go out and share some water with her? Can you go and sit on her and put your hands on her? Can you learn some of her stories? Who was here before you? What are the ancestors of where you are? These all give us a place to ground, to anchor, to gather those energies into. And a sense of something bigger than ourselves when we feel overwhelmed by a whole lot of stuff. We can plug into something bigger and go, oh yeah, perspective. So we're going to inhale. Come up. If you've had your eyes closed, you might want to open them, bring the arms up. Exhale, come down, touch your fingertips quite consciously to the ground if you can. Then inhale, come up. Touch your fingertips at the top, quite conscious. Exhale, come down. Inhaling up, really lifting up into that place, into that space. Exhaling down. Inhale up. down this time, just bring those fingertips down, roll your shoulders down, just lift the chest slightly. So feel the knees lift, toes are pointing up towards the roof. We're going to open these arms up, so we're going to bring them to shoulder height, and we're just going to take them back a little way till you feel a gentle stretch out through your arms, out through your fingers, across the chest. We're going to inhale, bring the arms back up. We're going to come down through that centre line, and possibly not warm yet, team, if you haven't just come from doing something. So gentle forward fold. This translates, it's a Sanskrit word, east-west, so we're trying to go for the back of the body all the way from your heels to the crown of your head. So in a long straight spine, then we're going to take our chin in, hopefully feel that stretch all the way up, maybe to the forehead we might be able to feel. Might all be stuck in your hamstrings, bend your knees a little bit, and breathe into it. Hamstring crew, gentle, keep that little bend there. Walk it back up, bring the soles of the feet together, and the knees out to the side. Comfortably distanced, team, so especially those of you where those knees are up quite high, just kind of find enough for your body. Those of you where there's quite a bit of room here, we're going to lift up, and again we're coming forward, but we're not curling over. We've got nice drop shoulders, long spine, and just think about the breath again. So we're going to breathe out, think about our base, so where we're connected to the ground. Feel the breath along the spine. Check that we've got that long breath, that we haven't started to curl at the diaphragm. Notice that at this point you might start to be able to go a little bit deeper. Millimeters are a long way. If it starts to happen, just checking in. How are we feeling? Gather that energy back in. If you're starting to scatter back out to the things, bring them back in. Lifting it back up and back into kind of open cross-legged, or legs out in front if that's more comfy. And take our left hand over to our right knee. Right hand around behind you and looking over that shoulder, just slowly. Come round into the twist, find enough in the twist. Coming around slowly to the other side. Looking as far over that shoulder as we can, and then working with the breath. Coming back around, and when we reach that center point, we're going to bring our feet out into a wider diamond. Okay, so out further from your body than before. Lifting up, and we're coming around again, that lovely long straight spine. So rather than looking kind of back, getting your head to your feet, think about that long extension along the back. Lifting it up. Let's come round onto all fours. Froggy throat this morning. And we're going to just move some circles around these hips. So take your knees out to the edge of the mat. When we do this, we sometimes it's really easy just to drift off. So we're going to go nice and slow around to the front. Feel the shoulders moving, the wrists moving, the knees, the hips. Bring that belly towards the floor as much as we can as we pull back, and as we come forward we're lifting back up. So just find that slowness for you, that sense of just moving into the joints, getting them to roll around a little bit. And we're going to change our direction, go round the other way. And just really kind of coming into the breath, the feeling of the movement. One more. And then as we pull back this time, we're going to bring the hips back towards the heels. And when we get to enough there, we're going to walk our arms forward. And we're just going to look to the thumbs. So the heart's coming down, but we're really working into these shoulders. Keep the forearms off the floor for a moment. And if you can, leave them off the floor as you bring your head down. As we come up, I'm going to drop the elbows down and just come forward. Bring the nose towards those thumbs. Notice where my hands are. And then as we pull back, we're looking for a stretch in the top of the arms. So forearms are parallel. Bring the heart towards the floor. Come forward again. It is not dolphin team. It's quite different because of the shape those hands are making. Those arms coming out from the shoulders. Ease it back. Inhale, bring it forward. Our knees are also still out and our toes together, so we're going into that hip space more. Inhaling forwards, exhaling back. One more. Walk the hands in. If you can sit on your feet, do. So we've still got that kind of toes pointing towards each other behind us. If it doesn't feel so great, put something under your hips or sit just in open cross-legged instead. And take our right hand down. Notice I'm on my fingertips because otherwise I kind of get a little bit stuck on my ribs. So I've come over and I'm going to take this left arm and I'm going to reach it over and then I'm going to circle it round. Notice I brought my body with me up, circle it round. This is my anchor hand. Circling those shoulders. This one we're going into a hold. You might find that I can now get my hand flat now that I've warmed up a little bit. And I'll reach that arm, I'm going to turn and look up under it. Big deep breath. Really lovely stretch for the top of the feet if you're still sitting on the feet. As well as the sides of the body, we're lifting. Think gate pose, triangle pose, lots of shapes that we make in our practice that use this shape. We're going to come up slow, take it straight to the other side. So up, and then I'm circling, just slow. I've got my anchor hand. I'm warming up so I can flatten it this side where I come on the other side. Just notice your body doing those things. Last one, coming around, we're going to come up onto that hold. Turn, look under that arm, reach. Feel what's going on in your body, sink into the breath of it. Come around slow. Option here, team, just tuck the toes under behind you. So change the shape of the feet. We've been sitting on them for a while. We're going to leave our knees down at first. Okay, so just lifting up. If you've sat down into open cross-legged, just come into a version of this that feels okay. So my toes are tucked under behind me and up on my knees. I can sit back on my heels. You might need to come up a little bit. I'm just going to inhale, bring those arms up, feel that lovely warmth that we've created in our shoulders. And then exhale as we come down, we're going to touch our fingers behind us. So it's working those shoulder blades down. Inhale, come up. Touch the fingertips. Exhale, come down, see if we can touch the fingertips. Let's keep that movement going. Stretching our feet the other way, of course. One more, lifting it up. And when we come down through the center, we've got the option of a frog pose or coming into plank and down dog. So notice, where are we? If you're in plank, wrists under shoulders, spread those fingers out a little bit. Push back through the heels, so lengthen along the spine without dropping your hips towards the floor. Breathe there for a moment. And then up slowly through the hips. Inhale, keep that lift going as far as we can take them. Bend the knees a little bit if your legs are quite tight. Let your heels release towards the floor, they don't have to touch down. We're going to come forwards, we're going to meet on all fours. And we're going to take our left foot, step it up to where your left hand is or a little bit wider. Sink into that low lunge. Our hands can be to the innie or the outie. See what feels good. And then bring the upper body just slowly up. So hips to the front, leaning into this hip flexor. And then inhale, come up slow. Exhale, just come down a little way, see what feels good. Inhale, come up. Bring those arms up, exhale, bring them down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, down, bring the body down with you. Inhale, come up. Exhale, open up. There it is. We're just going to flow with the breath. Notice that breath. Notice the depth. Might be starting to really feel that stretch in your body. Keep it going. We've got one more. Up, out, up, down. Bring the hands down as you come down. Wriggle out. That left foot up into tiger's tail. Stretch along the spine. Find your breath. That knee comes down. Bring it back into a frog pose. Let the spine ease out, especially those of you where when we do those low lunges, that lower back goes, ooh, I can feel that. Bring the heart towards the floor. Down dog crew, you're most welcome to pop a down dog in here. See what your body needs. Come up slowly. Bring those knees back under you if you've been in frog pose. Right foot's turn, right leg's turn. So we step it either to where the right foot is, right hand is, or slightly out further. Come up slow, set it up. Oh, kneeling on my pants. Notice your breath. You know what the sequence is going to be now, but this is where what can happen is our brain goes, oh, I'm going to go off and do something else while you're doing that then. So we really want to bring ourselves into that flow of the breath. So center first, come down. Just notice, where am I at on this side? We're going to inhale, bring it up. We're going to exhale, bring those palms together. Come down slow. Inhale up. Open out, slow, exhale. Inhale up. Feel the air moving and your fingers moving through the air. Coming up, opening those arms out. Find the rhythm of your breath. Really letting that slow flow soak into the body. One more. And as we come down, we let those hands come down, we wriggle out that front foot up into tiger's tail. Stretch along the spine, find your breath. So we're lifting our chest, lifting our foot towards the back of our head. Bring that knee down. And our front pose this time. You hear some hip and knee clicks from this knee over here. We're going to pull back slowly and we're going to take that right arm and thread it under our left. Look along it. Find that shape for you, that space under that shoulder blade. Slowly changing sides. Really noticing, team, those spaces in the body as we come up. The spaces that we're working into, where there might not have been space. So under the shoulder blades is a classic place we hold that tension, right, mid-spine. So we're moving them every which way that we can to get them to change and create a little bit more space for those muscles around those bones. So we're going to take those toes under either side of the mat. Come up slowly into walking into a forward fold, however which way is comfy. Soft knees, let the head drop. We can cross our arms if we feel okay. Then we're going to bring our hands down and our heels in. Half squat first, team. Or if you need a bit more space, turn your toes off the edge of your mat. Forearms onto thighs. Tailbone goes back. So first off, practice untucking that tailbone. So pressing back towards the wall or the back of your mat. Breathe. Notice your breath. Take the weight slightly to the outside edge of the feet, look after those knees. Lengthen along that spine, so really feel like, oh yeah, there it is, there's the spot. A little bit of burn in the legs perhaps. And we're going to come up slowly to standing, so just ease your way up, leave the feet kind of the shape that they are if that feels okay. We're going to inhale, come up slow, look after that blood pressure. And we're going to exhale, we're going to bend into those legs. Touch our fingertips down to the floor. Inhale, come up. And slow. Move with your breath. There's no pause point. There's no destination. There's just movement. That's how slow we want to try and move. So the very top of the inhale is the touch of the fingers. The very bottom of the exhale is the touch of the fingers to the floor. Tailbone still going backwards. As we're coming down. And next one, coming down. We can hang out at the halfway mark, or we can start to drop into a squat. If you're working towards full squat, remember we can put blocks under our butt to give us a bit of hand. If you're quite comfortable in a squat, then we've got a little bit of a one that we're really careful with because of knees. Okay, so any knee issues, this is a no. If this is not relatively comfortable in the squat, it's also a no. Okay, so right hand anchors, left hand anchors, down goes a knee. Inhale up, change arms. So you've got those anchors, knee comes down. Check it out, make sure it feels all right. Those of you that are W sitters, you know what I mean. You'll be able to do this one, okay? If you're not, you might just get your knee just a little bit of movement. Check that there's no pressure in the knee, okay? This is all the hip that should be doing this, which is why eventually it has no impact on our knee. Our knee stays right where it is in terms of the angle it's on and that hip moves. One more each side if you're doing this one. Those of you working your way into a squat are like, hurry up. From here, lift up slow, turn the feet back into that forward fold, let the head drop. We might cross our arms, might bend our legs a little bit if we're quite tight. Forearms onto thighs, bring the butt down a little bit, lift the head up higher than the heart. Come slowly up to standing. Okay, so balance crew. If you need to find a wall or a chair to put your hands on for this one, do that. So we're working just gently into balance work today. So we're gonna scratch our toes, come up onto the ball of your foot, massage your feet into the floor. And come down, lift the toes up, give them a scrunch, come back down. First thing we're going to do is think of shifting the energy from side to side, right? So we're going to come over onto the right side first. Think about moving that energetically to the right side of the body and lift that left foot up off the floor. Notice that kind of sense, that whole right side of the body is now holding you up. Lots of movement down in that foot and ankle. Try not to just use the toes, get the whole of the foot active. Now we're going to transfer that energy over, left side. Feel it anchor down into the floor, bring that right foot up. Find your drishti point, okay, so a point on the floor or the wall that's not moving. Sink into the breath of it, but also the feeling in that left foot, that left ankle. Sometimes this depends on what surface we're on. Team, I'm on carpet. I much prefer being on hard floor for my practice, especially with balances. Carpet can make it quite hard. Your underlay, you got the soft spongy stuff and your foot's trying to work out what to do with it. Okay, bring that down. We're going to transfer that energy back over, right side. And bring this left foot up. We're coming up into a hip circle. So we're just going around slow. Last circle on this side. Bring that foot down. Again, conscious shifting of energy over. Right foot comes up slow. Find that kind of balance, and then circle. One more. And bring that foot down. Now, notice your body. So we're going to pause. We're going to roll our shoulders down. You can just particularly your lower body. Notice what's buzzing, what's got the feels, what's been working hard. Soften your gaze, come into Tadasana. So arms alongside the body, palms facing into your hips, thumbs forward. Just sink into that breath, notice. Your glutes are there, but they're not tight. Your knees are there, but they're not locked. Your chest is lifted without pushing back into that spine. Chin, head, long line from the crown of the head all the way down to the space between your feet, gathering that energy along that line. Feel your breath moving. Sometimes translated as mountain pose. Still, strong, and yet at the same time you're going to feel those little micro movements of your body standing straight, movements at your feet, you know, what your core is doing. You feel the movement of your breath. Okay, open the eyes if you've had them closed, kind of noticing Tadasana is quite a powerful pose sometimes, and we can sometimes leave it out of our practice. We'll think it only belongs at the start of a sun salutation, and there's a lot more to it, as you might have just discovered, or your brain might have gone, shoo, I'm just going to go over here and think about what's next. So we're going to go wide on the mat, team. So we're going to use Goddy's pose, so thinking about the distance between your heels for you, turning our toes outwards, okay, as far as we can. Take them as we do that, of course we start to bend our knees so we're not twisting our knees. And we think about this inner thigh region, we're coming down and we're taking that energy downwards. The weight's going to the outside edge of the feet to bring those knees nice and into alignment with your ankles and the ball of your foot. As you come down, kind of feel where's that strength moment. Inhale, lift up, not quite straight. Exhale, sink down. Feel that moment where it's like, whoa, there it is. Long, deep breath there. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, sink back into that shape. Really feeling that moment where we sink and all that strength suddenly comes into the thighs, the pelvis. This is our goddess. We're getting our goddess on. Tana, yes you can. Inhale, come up. We've all got the lunar and solar aspects. One of the key things that yoga teaches us energetically as we sink down again. Okay, come down nice and deep. This time, arms into our goddess shape. Elbows out from shoulders. Feel that opening across the heart space. And yet that strength sink. Lift it up. Turn those toes forward. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. We're getting to the halfway mark, so we're going to get our spine parallel with the floor. Long deep breath, soften the knees a little bit. Hands come down, tips slowly around the hips, let the head drop. One of the hands back in. Bring the heels back in or the toes back up, depending on which way you did that. Come up slow. Set yourself up again. Think about the strength that this pose creates in the body. It really is working in a way with the muscles that a normal squat doesn't do, right? So we're much more engaged in the inner and outer thighs, okay, and up in here. So really as you sink down, start to feel those muscles coming in and think of that energy of that real strength. Even if you can't hold it for very long, you're gonna just work into that. And we're gonna bring the arms into it. Breathe. And lift. The arms come down. Turn those toes. And this time when we come forward, coming around slow, bring the hands down. We're going to wander around to the back foot. So putting a twist into that upper body, stretching down that leg. Wandering around, front foot. And we're turning that front foot and turning onto the ball of that back foot. So high lunge, wander out that front foot up into down dog just slowly, or knees come down into frog pose. So again, checking in your jelly balls. If you're in down dog, that real deep lift up through the hips, easing the heels towards the floor. Meeting on all fours into those hip circles, so bring the knees out a little bit. Around we go. This time we've got our shins parallel, we haven't put our toes in. Slightly different to when we did it at the start. Feeling what's happening in your body, letting any clicks and clunks out. They're a lovely kind of noticer as we change direction of how centered we're feeling, whether we can stay just with that slowness of the breath, the slowness of the movement, or whether we're having to wander off, grounding ourselves in the movement and the breath, feeling in our body. going to slide our left knee up, left heel across under that right hip. Slide that right leg back. Spine stretch first, team. So hips coming down, spine lifting up, the start of our pigeon pose. Noticing option today. Left hand is our anchor in the center of the mat. Right foot lifts, right hand goes around. See if we can find that foot. Bring it in towards the bum. Or just kind of leave it lifted. Just see what feels right. Bring that foot down. Lying slowly down that front leg. So just find that shape. We're going to lift ourselves up. I'm going to slide that knee back. Move into the hips a little bit. And then slide right knee forward. Right heel under that left hip. Start with a back stretch if it's still feeling alright. So the hips come around. Make sure you haven't dropped to one side, team. It's really common for people to end up bringing the hip down. What that does is put unevenness in these SI joints, and we want to be able to stretch up through them without putting them at risk. Really important little joint where our pelvis and our spine connect up. It's tiny in terms of its range of motion, but huge in terms of what it does, and anyone that's ever done an injury to it, not nice. So, right hand to the center, find that left foot if you can. Bring that foot down. Come around slowly, sinking down into that hip, into the breath. Lifting it up slowly. So come up slow. We're going to slide that leg back. Last down dog of this week's offering, or frog pose. So again, check in. What's going on in your body? What does it need? Long, deep breaths wherever we are. Come down slow, bring the knees down. I'm going to turn over slowly onto your back. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And roll some circles around that lower back. Just slowly. Change direction. Bring the arms alongside the body, tuck the thumbs underneath. Lift up those feet towards the roof. Heels, push away, toes back towards you. Chin tucked in, so nice long back of the neck. You just find your breath. Bring the feet down. Bring the arms out nice and wide from the shoulders. Hips come up and over to the right. Knees go left. Slowly into the twist, turn. Look along that right arm. Settle yourself in. Stacking hips, stacking knees. Inhale, bring those knees up, hips back to center. And then over those hips go to the left, knees go right, head turns left, just changing sides slow. Feel each part of the movement. Knees come slowly back up. Hips come back together. Come back to center. We'll try that. Make the shape you might want to make for Shavasana crew. So, is it traditional? Do you feel like bringing the soles of the feet together and then your knees drop out? Like, just kind of notice what your body needs, where your hands want to be. Adjust. And what we want to do is we're going to come right back to the start of class and our Sankalpa, our resolve. And if you didn't find one, think of, is it peace, is it joy? What is something that you want to bring into your body, into your life more? Think of it as an energy that already exists in the universe. Okay, so we're not creating something from scratch, it's already there. I'm going to breathe that energy in. So those of you that know I love the Ram Dass mantra, I am loving awareness, that he talks about having, already exists. I'm bringing myself into alignment with it. I'm resonating with it. And the old word that we used to use for it, it's the vibe. It's the vibe I want to be, the vibration. So you're going to breathe that in, feel it coming into the body, filling out every cell. And then flowing out into the world. So you're just coming into the flow of it. It's not yours to keep. It's yours to be part of. And if that doesn't make any sense, then this is just, it's a rest time. It's a chance to let the yoga soak in. To not dive straight into the next thing. Let your body just grow heavy on the mat. Your breath center you. Find that flow of the breath, flow of that energy. Take rest for a moment. For those of you that can stay on and move into a meditative space, you might want to come up to seated with us or just turn the sound off now. We're going to start just by finding 8 really conscious breaths. Bring yourself back into the space that you're inhabiting as you're doing them. So you might open your eyes and notice the space. You might move your fingers and your toes. Feel your body on the floor, the points that are touching the floor. Then we're going to take our arms up towards the roof, over your head slowly. From wherever your legs are, bring your knees together, your feet flat on the mat. Wriggle your toes into the floor. And then turning over onto the left side, come slowly up and around into seated. Just open cross-legged or legs out in front, so Dandasana. One of the other poses that we started with. Again, we're just feeling like instead of leaping off the mat, we're bringing that energy in, so we're filling ourselves up for whatever comes after this for you. So take a conscious breath, feel that line through the center of your body, down into the earth, up to however you can see with the universe. You're plugged in, so feel yourself plugging in. That beautiful energy that you've created, we're going to inhale, we're going to come up into that energy. Touch the fingertips, and as we come down on that exhale, we're going to give some of that back to Mother Earth because she needs it. And then inhale, come up. Let's maybe touch down one more time, so exhale. Bring those fingertips down. And then inhale, come up. Palms together, bring that energy to your heart space if that feels appropriate. Gathering it in for you. When we fill our cup, we're better able to share. And many blessings, everyone. Thank you for joining me this week, wherever you are in the world. Take care.